We actually got a pretty nice card this weekend. Pound for pound number one versus pound for pound number two, if you believe in that kind of thing, which I think whether you do or don't, these guys are some of the very best in the sport right now. Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. How are you feeling about this fight? How do you see it?
I agree, but like if we're gonna go and see what's going on, like I think this is the great fight for Alex. Even though he's gonna lose, he's gonna make great money, and he's not losing like his title, So it's still staying for him. So it's perfect choice for that. Anything else, like I really don't see how he's gonna win this fight. Even if we go in his style, let's go like just like this. In last five fights, Islam really peaked up. He finished all his last five
Hmm.
fights. Uh, Volkanovski in last five only finished one Korean zombie. So even in the category down, he's struggling. Like I don't know, from that five, was it like maybe even three with Max Holloway or two? And it was like some of them that were like pretty close. And talking about that, Max Holloway has a head adventure, like and moved up to 155, and you saw
Hmm.
how it ended up.
Yeah.
And even against the guy who is not on the level that I think Islam is. And everybody's just talking about Islam's wrestling. Nobody's saying about his stand up. We saw just a little bit in his last match when he managed to drop down Oliveira, and then to do even more impressive thing to submit guy who is has the most submission in UFC. That's talking enough. Just like a difference in the category, first time in 155 in UFC. Uh, I just don't see the way how he's gonna win by those statistics and talking about the styles between two of them. Islam is southpaw.
Mhm.
Alex Volkanovski was really, how to say, hittable, especially from the dead side that usually on the orthodox is coming with the left, with the front. For the Islam, that's going to be the power hand.
Mhm.
Uh, so I just see that that's going to be a big trouble, especially like Islam doesn't use the jab that much. He's really with his movement in and out, setting up that his backhand, that's his power hand, and I think that's gonna be the key in this match. Like even if you forget about wrestling and all that shit, I think that's gonna bring him a victory. Like I think it's plus 400 at least. It was like I throw like $25 on that. So I think that's maybe also a good pick because like putting the bet on Islam, how much it is like a minus 310. Am I right? No, 380. Like guys, how I'm going with that. Like, I don't like
Mhm.
if it's not plus or even like uh, uh, close to 100 in minus. I'm not playing with that.
That being said, you clearly think Islam's going to be the winner, but is it worth putting money on the underdog, Alexander Volkanovski?
I really don't see the way how he's gonna win this fight.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe you can do it like same like I did with Fedor, and hope that Islam's gonna slip and fall on the kick. Like he
Yeah.
slips, start falling, and the kick comes, and that's the best chance for Volkanovski to win that fight.
Well, like I mostly agree, especially with like how people are talking up Islam's wrestling, which of course is amazing, but his striking, he's got the best striking defense in the UFC. Um, Something that he picked up, especially after his last loss, his only loss, when he got knocked out. He's since then had the greatest striking defense, and against a striker like Volkanovski, I don't think that's a good thing, especially with the size disadvantage. But something that's interested in the lead up is Islam's promotion, if you want to call it that, saying that he wants to knock out Volkanovski. right? Because everyone's saying that his wrestling's so good, but he wants to show. Yeah, I think it's like just a page out of Mayweather's, book, promoting the fight, saying I'm gonna knock this guy out, and then fighting, his fight, which is safe defensively, and in Islam's case, probably gonna grapple him. I think if he's grappling Volkanovski, there is no reason why he wouldn't just win that fight either by submission or 5 rounds. Uh, usually usually in these cases you'd give the other guy a puncher's chance, but like you said, in the featherweight division, even there, like Volkanovski's not having so much success knocking people out, which is probably what he has to do against Makhachev. But one thing that surprises me is like a lot of people have been talking to me about this fight, and a surprising amount of people are giving Volkanovski a chance. I think that's just because, he's had some good fights against Max Holloway. For me, he's beaten a lot of like my favorite fighters, but so I'm kind of rooting for him just to keep, that going. But I think when the skill sets are so close, and they're pretty close in this, the bigger fighter is probably going to win, and that's Islam. So I think we agree on this. Islam's going to win.
Yeah, and talking about that, I think it's more about the hype. People I think listen a lot to Volkanovski, what he's saying, and just like get just guys. Many times we got distracted by talking, and we are forgetting. Just like look the stats, like he didn't even finishing the fights in his category, you know, and he was like even like in close in some fights. Let's not forget about the fight with Chad Mendes, where Chad Mendes dropped him exactly with the weapon that I said. It was left hook. It was for a second, but like he dropped him down, like he managed to took his back. So that's the things like with the smaller guy. I think Chad Mendes is even smaller than Volkanovski, if that's possible, you know, in the height.
Yeah.
And we are talking about the Islam, who is bigger. I think even have a better ground game than Chad Mendes. You know, so just like take those facts, and then you're gonna see. Like, I mean, there's always a chance. You know, it's MMA, one punch decided, or even like a slippery cage. You know, you
Yeah.
never know what's gonna happen. You know, there is so many, but like if you look percentage wise, you know, I really don't see. And talking about that, going for the underdogs, you know, I need to see something that that person can win. You know, like same like last weekend when I went for a Fujit, when I went with Devon Clark, you know, I saw that they have a weapon to win that fight, and it was like similar odds to this one, you know. But like I was really confident that they have tools to finish that job. I really don't see like even though let's say he's pound for pound, I don't see that he has a tool to solve this puzzle, you know. And coming back again, it's more about the matchups than the quality of the fighter. You know, sometimes like even like you can be better than someone 5 times, but if he's your bad matchup and you have like a less opening to win against him, you know, smaller chance.
Yeah. How do you think Islam gets it done?
KO.
KO.
I believe him. Plus 400 all day.
Do you
I
think he tries to wrestle with him though?
probably. I mean, if he have to wrestle, he will wrestle. You know, like again, like when they shorten the distance, Islam is really good with the hooks also. Like, and he's really good in managing distance. And usually he, when they close the distance, he likes to use those hooks. And then he'll probably go for grabs, and then he's gonna try to throw him down. You know, but like I think like by his movement and also movement of Alec Volkanovski, they will not get so much like he will not force the wrestling. You know what I mean? So be more time spent on the feet, and especially like I said previously about the bad matchup, and Volkanovski's got hittable from his right side, from Volkanovski's side. That's the perfect for Islam, you know. And I think he will catch him in some entrance because he likes to drive forward with his punches, and from the counter, I can see that Islam is gonna KO him with a hook or with a straight down the pipe.
I think we're both pretty excited for this fight, but are you surprised that the UFC is not promoting it that much in this past week and the week before?
How? Let's go honestly. They become like McDonald's. Coming back to that, they're just like
Yeah.
printing the fights. You know, it's not
Yeah.
like before we had to wait. Even today, I ask you like we have a couple of weeks. No, we have events every week now.
Yeah.
And the next big one, even bigger than this one, and this is pretty big. A pound number one against pound number two, and we have like in a month even bigger for heavyweight crown.
You know what fight this reminds me of? This is going kind of far back. The last time I remember like a pound for pound one and pound for pound two, the guys moving up to fight him was BJ Penn versus GSP. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course. That
And
was
I remember being so excited for that fight, and like everyone I knew who didn't even watch UFC was interested in that fight. Like that's how big it was at the time.
Yeah, because like if we go back to that, and now it's too late to check, but like probably like a month before that and month after that, like more or less, there was no events. So
Right.
you put all the marbles in one basket, you know. It's just about that. They become hyper production, you know. I mean, it's better for us. We can bet every weekend. So
Yeah.
at least for me, you're not betting. You're
Yeah,
betting.
no, I can enjoy the fights every weekend.
Yeah, that's true. and also you're betting through me every time I put money on your picks.
That's true. Yeah, but I mean, promotion or no promotion, I'm excited for this fight. You know, usually you would see like maybe a press conference, like World Tour, maybe for something like this. But even without it, I think like the hardcores understand this is a very